can solve it, we've kind of identified is you can look at it from 4 ways, right? So the one is forget the human, right? Like just make the machines better. So you have the Siemens and the ABBs are like, we're going to make it so that you don't need humans. Okay, that's one way to solve it. Then you've got the automated planners, right? And so those are kind of the data scientists. So GE, IBM are like, wow, we're going to solve this through better planning, better predicting. The machine will know when it needs to be ready and
why they would use you instead of just develop it on their own. I mean, if they need that, they will understand, they will listen to you and say, hey, just a bunch of programmers, we need them to put on top of our software, they will create something like that, and that's it. So why the company?
So there's a couple of reasons, and this is what we learned, over the years, and even with my last company, right, is that one is time. So they're slow, right, and they know they're slow, right. Like so, talking to them, they just go, we couldn't do this as fast as you could do it, right? Because we're bureaucratic. There's approval. It's slower. They're also more expensive, right? So they have internal, when they cost things out, it's not simply, hey, we have people. They have engineering costs, and when they cost the project, it just costs way more than what we can do it for. And then the other element is innovation, is that we have experience in implementing new technologies in a way that they haven't, right? Which is why they bought from us, in the past. We did a visual inspection app for an F-35, and I actually said to them, because again, I'm always a bit of the cynic, and I said, so why don't you guys do this? And in that app, they literally could do it, it was themselves. I'm like, why don't you just do this? And he's like, we just can't go that fast, right? It's just too long to do it internally. And in the end, that was one of our most profitable products.
And so what do you have right now? I mean, technically software, hardware, what exists now?
Ultimately, I'd say more identification of what so we've identified the tech stack, right, that we need. That's a combination of stuff we're going to buy, partner with, and then we've defined the solution from an architecture point of view, and we built a very small prototype, of how the mobile app might look, but that's it.
So you don't have like real software so far? But the software is actually going to be the key in this whole thing, right?
So we think that it's the really transformational part. You could build a company, right? And we talked about that just off, being experts in this IoT transformation of companies, just going to them and saying, hey, give us, it's kind of Accenture light. Give us a few $100,000 and we'll help you transition this way. And certainly we'll plan to use that as one of the levers to generate cash. But I'd say, our belief is, what's really transformational about this and therefore really interesting is creating that software component.
And technically it's going to work like for example, I'm the worker, I'm doing something, and then I have the iPhone or what?
It'll be on whatever device you have. We'll put I always think it was an agent, right? So we're going to put a little agent into your phone that you don't know.
App.
That's constantly curating information as you go around your work site and understanding.
And how does it collect information from me? Just GPS, just my location, or I have to enter something there?
No, it's a push system, so you won't have to do anything. So it's.
But how does it know what I'm doing now?
So it's using the GPS. It knows where you are, what time it is, and then it's also curating the information of all the devices that are around you, like the machinery.
And it's going to send me some hints, what to do next.
So, here's what you need to do next, right? You're standing beside a valve. You are certified to do this valve, and this is all happening behind the scenes, right? You don't know this, but you're walking. It's like, wow, Gabe is walking by this machine. He doesn't, to give you the utopian example, right? So I'm walking around a work site, and our little agent is working on my phone, and it walks by and says, wow, I've looked in Gabe's calendar. He doesn't have another work event for 2 hours. He's walking by this machine. This machine needs a procedure that Gabe's certified to. Past data shows us that it will only take Gabe 45 minutes to do this, and he's only 20 minutes from his next job, so instruct Gabe to go over to that machine and perform that procedure, and then send him on his way. So that's the long-term kind of utopian world. Before you get there, it's going to be a little more simple of, I've gone to do this task, and here's the contextual information right now that you need to support that task.
And how much do you think they will pay you for all of this? What are the numbers, approximately?
So approximate numbers, so if I use off here, the pilot implementations, right, we're looking at $250,000 per implementation.
Per project.
Per project.
And you're going to spend this money on software development, basically.
Developers, obviously, then you got project manager, there's a bunch of associated costs as you get there. I think for the enterprise software, I think you can charge, $20,000, $25,000, right, per year, right, on an annual basis, plus some transactional, usage-based pricing.
And what's the problem you're like, what is the pain, what is the pain they have right now which you're solving?
So the pain really boils down to the business drivers. There's a few, but the main one is the worker productivity. So there's a couple. So task execution. So the reality is 60% of their blue collar workers, right, spend their time, they're either at the wrong place, they're at the right place, they don't know what to do, or even worse, and pretty common is they're at the right place, they think they know what to do, and they're doing it wrong. And so they call that first time right rate. And that in major kind of big iron industries is 75%, which sounds better, except when you think about it, that means 1 in 4 times they do it wrong. So that's got huge costs associated with it, which leads to hazards, right? So.
But my main concern is that I think it's first of all, it's a service company, and for sure, and I think it's the value of the money, which if I give you the money right now, the value of this money will not, I think so, will not increase. Will not seriously increase in the next few years. So it's not a venture, it's not a startup, it's just a normal business. It's a business which you start. I think it will be successful. I just see the energy, I see that you have the background. I don't have big doubts about that. So I think you will have your contract, you already have one, you will have more, you will have people, everything, but it's going to be just a normal traditional business. So the value of this thing will not be 50 million in a few years. Yeah, it's not going to be an exponential. So if I give you the money now, you will probably give it back to me in a few years, that's for sure. But this is not what I'm looking for. Yeah, I'm looking for giving you 20,000 and get back 2 million in a few years. It's not going to happen here, because the value of this thing is not, if you would invent something which you like, something which you can patent, something that you can say, this is my product which I invented, nobody else have it. But in this case, you have programmers, you have traditional software which you will, well, it's not going to be traditional, it's going to be unique, custom, but anybody can create it, right? So it's not something which you're going to invent and nobody can reproduce it. So it's a service company which will definitely grow, but maybe in 10 years it will cost $100 million. But it's, by that time my money will completely dilute, and I will get back probably maybe like 50% on the top of my investment.
Right.
There's not what we're looking for. So in our strategy, what we are looking for, I don't see it as a startup. That's my point.
No, I think
it's probably interesting business, definitely interesting, because I'm also from software development side, so I understand how software works, and it's great you got a contract, it's great you have connections, so you will definitely have more contracts, but you will make money for yourself, that's for sure. You will be successful and rich enough, but not me.
No, I think that's fair. I mean, we do believe that there is IP in that machine learning in the mobile thing, but I think it will be created.
Let's say it this way, it will be created.
And it's a different way to start a business. It's not the traditional create the secret sauce, right, and then do it. We're more or less, because of our experience, having other people pay to create that secret sauce.
If you would come here and say, look, I have something secret, like a secret sauce, I have some IP, I have some intellectual property which nobody else have, and now I'm going to sell, I'm going to embed this in these installations, but this is the key. In that case, because of this key, the IBM will buy you for $1 billion in 3 years. That's good. But you don't have this key, and you will probably invent it on the way you go over time. But this is not, maybe not. Maybe they will just ask you, okay, implement this feature, implement this, implement that, and you will work and you will get money, you will be paid for sure. You will cover your expenses. But I will be calling you every half a year and asking okay, at least where's my dividends? And you will say no dividends because we pay the salaries. And that will be good because the salaries will go to your pocket, but not to mine. So I understand how it's going to work, and that's why in the beginning it sounded really interesting to me, because I really like what you're doing, and I think this is going to have the marketplace for sure. But I don't see how I'm going to get a lot of money back. That's my answer.
That's fair. Absolutely. Well, I don't know if it sounds good, but I think it sounds fair. And,
but I wish you luck, because this sounds better than I was expecting, because I checked your website, I checked before we met, so I checked some information, and it sounded to me like something really crazy, a little bit too crazy. But you explained it well, and you have a contract, so it means you have some success and you're going to have more. So I don't see it as a crazy idea. It's like doable, it's on the market market needs this, because we have more and more the smartphones and everything.
Absolutely.
I think you know this better than me. So I think it's good, but not for venture capital. Not for venture capital.